Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Mark Dolfini, landlord coach. I am going live on my personal page, and I'm also on live on YouTube and the landlord coach Facebook page. So, good morning, everybody. I am joining you again. I'm on the road. I'm in St. Louis today. I'm going to be traveling back to the land of milk and honey in Indiana here very soon. But I want to get to the Ask Coach question here from Daryl and Sandy. And this is a really, really good question because I often get asked this question if I do actually do any flips or anything along those lines. So I want to talk to you about that. And if you've got any questions, please go ahead and fill them in. But so this question really quickly is from Daryl and Sandy. And they were asking, it was a really good and direct question because they were kind of challenging me on my thought of only doing buy and holds and why I don't ever go and what's wrong with flipping properties. So they told their story. The emails a little lengthy, so I won't go ahead and read the whole thing. But Daryl and Sandy were asking. They said, "Look, we basically, hey coach, we've got a really successful flipping business, and you're a buy and hold guy, and we've read the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. Hey Scott, thank you very much. We read the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, and we see the benefits of the vision infrastructure process system that you walk through in the Time Wealthy Investor. But we really like flipping houses, and we really like the idea of getting this big lump sum of cash versus waiting for our cash for over a period of time, which is basically an annuity, right? It's an annuity that you wait for over time in the buy and hold situation, right? So it just so you understand, for those viewers out there, an annuity is basically, do I want to get $10,000 now or $30,000 now versus waiting for it to be spread out over the course of however long you have a rental property, right? That's a difference. So an annuity would be payments versus a lump sum. So what's wrong with that? Daryl and Sandy, I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with that. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. I love the idea of having a lump sums of cash coming in, but here's where I see a potential problem for you. Number one, we didn't get to have a dialogue back and forth, so I don't really know what your vision is for the future. If this is in alignment with your vision for the future, if basically you're okay with the job that you've created for yourself, there's nothing wrong with it. Keep going, especially if you're successful at it, because I know some of the people out there, they make a lot of money. I mean, you may be making $300,000-$400,000 a year in your flipping business or your wholesaling business. Now, wholesaling is a little bit different, where you don't really do anything except get the properties that say some sort of fire sale, which would be at a tax sale or an auction or something along those lines, and then you do nothing to the property except maybe trash it out, and maybe you don't even do that, and then you resell it to a house flipper, somebody who's going to put a roof on it and put some effort into it to get it up to market rate, and then they sell it, right? So a wholesaler, really all they do is just get the properties for a really low price, mark it up maybe 30, 40, maybe sometimes 100 or 200%, and then sell it to a house flipper who's going to take that and then add even more value to it. So there's lots of ways to do that, but here's the fundamental problem. You're only as good as your last deal. You're only as good as your last deal. So imagine, if you will, now again, I know you guys who are out there doing the real estate hustle, you don't mind being busy and you're out there doing the thing that you're doing. But the thing that I caution you on is just imagine, if you will, you go on a much needed 3-week vacation, right? So there you are, you're on this 3-week vacation and you're in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And that can be different for everybody. So just imagine you're there, it's quiet, and you're enjoying this moment of serenity, staring at the horizon, and you're getting ready to go to dinner in a little while. But right now you're just on the beach, you're sitting next to your loved one, and your phone rings. And you look at the phone and you think, if I don't answer that phone right now, I could lose that potential deal, which is going to bring me my next $40,000. Now, the question is, are you going to answer it? And typically, you're going to answer the phone. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't mind working a little bit on vacation. And you know what? I don't mind it either. I do it because I get ideas, and that's when I get most of my ideas, right? When you're on vacation, that sort of thing. But here's where the problem lies, is that you never get to turn it off. you are only as good as your last deal. So even if you turn off that, even if you didn't take that phone call, you're like, no, you know what? I've earned this time off. You still have to go out and get the next deal. Whereas with passive income, with residual income, wouldn't it be nice if you came home from that vacation? You came home from that vacation, you had an amazing time, and you had $18,000-$20,000 in rent checks ready to be cashed, right? Or even better, could you imagine that you have an infrastructure set up to where you don't have to go back to a mailbox filled with $18,000 in cash, because it's all been done online. All of your residents have paid you through a portal on your website. All right, you're following? They've paid you through a portal on your website, and then all of a sudden, that you don't even, all you have to do is click a button, and it's automatic. And maybe you don't even have to click a button. It's automatically direct deposited to a bank account and you just need to make sure who's checked rent or who's paid rent, who hasn't. And maybe you have a little bit of input, but you don't certainly have near as much that's going on with the passive side, or with the active side, the wholesaling, the flipping, and that sort of thing. So, and I would even interject that you probably don't even really have to have even any input if you've set your infrastructure up proper way. If you set your infrastructure up the proper way and you set your process up the proper way. So these are all things that I talk about continually in the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. So if you want to go ahead and pick up the book, you can actually pick it up through the Landlord Coach site. And if you want to do that. Also, it's available on Amazon if you just prefer to buy through Amazon. That's either way is fine. I know some of you have been asking if I would send you a signed copy. Okay, here's the problem. That's a job, right? And I'm not trying to sound snarky. I'm not trying to sound self-important, but that's a job for myself. So for a limited time, I'm going to do this because I know there's people out there who want to buy signed copies, and I'm very humbled by that. So I'll do for a limited time is I'm going to put a link on my site where you can buy the book direct from me, and I will mail it to you, and I will sign it. And if you'd like something specific on there, I'll give you a mechanism so you can actually say yes. If you make it out to if you're buying as a gift for someone else, I can make out their name and whatever would be perfect, whatever would be appropriate for them. Okay, so I appreciate the loyalty that you guys have shown me and the incredible kindness. Just understand, I don't want to create a job for myself, because again, when I'm out traveling, when I'm out speaking, when I'm doing things like that, helping people get to better states of themselves and teaching them about the vision infrastructure process system, that's really purposeful for me. And I don't want to disappoint anybody and say you put an order in today, you might have to wait 4 or 5 days for you to get it, or for even me to ship it out. Right. So really quickly, I want to talk about the vision infrastructure process system and the classes that I'll be teaching. So I've got 2 classes coming up, and it's just 2 different dates, 2 different locations. So if either of those dates work better for you, or if either one of those locations work better for you, they're going to be on the events page and the Landlord Coach site. That's not quite up yet today, but it will be up later today. If you go to landlordcoach.com, and you can scroll down you'll see the events there. Let me get that right up here so I can make sure I get the exact. But it's landlordcoach.com/upcoming-events. But if you just go to the homepage and go to coaching, and then down the bottom of the coaching session, you'll see under events. So you can sign up there for the Vision Infrastructure Process Systems. There's 2 days events, and they will be very, very busy days. But the main benefit is you're going to be walking out of there as process experts, and you are going to be able to, right out of the gate, have the tools in your toolbox to start managing your properties so much more effectively, so much more efficiently. You're going to be able to enjoy that passive income that we just talked about, and you're going to have all the tools in your toolbox that you'll need. There isn't anything else more now. Of course, I do have other things to help people, to enhance those tools. But really, you'll walk out of there. If you're not a reader, that's okay. If you don't want to buy the book, The Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, that's okay, because we're going to teach all that stuff and even more in the class. And that's going to be on January. Good God. It's going to be on June the 1st and 2nd in Atlanta. June 1st and 2nd in Atlanta. And I'll give you a sign-up page for that. And then also on July the 13th and 14th in Indianapolis. I'm going to be right in my backyard, and I'll be teaching a class there. They're both the same classes, so you don't have to go to both. You can pick either one, whichever is best for you. I don't know that I'm going to be doing any other classes this year, so definitely sign up. And there's only so many seats in the room. I'm not going to, I'm not trying to be weird about it, but I would recommend doing it soon, because the sooner you get signed up, the sooner you secure your seat, and it's going to be, we can start getting to work right away. All right. So thanks so much for taking the time to join me today. And I look forward to seeing you either on June 1st or 2nd in Atlanta, or July 13th or 14th in Indianapolis. And like I said, there's limited seating in both, so be sure to get in there and get signed up. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Remember, if you're not placing a value on your free time, someone else is. And it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's how much time you're creating within your plane, right? So make sure that you are not forgetting the most valuable asset that you have, which is your time. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Mark Dolfini, landlord coach. I am going live on my personal page, and I'm also live on YouTube.